The conflict began in April 2023 with a deadly power struggle between the Sudanese army and the Rapid Support Forces. It's estimated that more than 61,000 people have died in Khartoum alone. Now, the Sudanese army controls most of the north and east of Sudan, while the RSF still has a grip on the southwest. Control of the capital, Khartoum, well, it's key. The army has recaptured large parts of their city in recent weeks and want to end the RSF's almost 2-year siege. Our Africa correspondent Yusuf El-Bagir reports.
A ghost of a capital. Charred, burnt buildings. The skeletal remains of a city. What wasn't looted was dumped in its streets. Shelling from these reclaimed areas is constant, landing in the heart of Khartoum to loosen the grip of the RSF.
It's taken nearly 2 years to get this close to a key bridge connecting parts of the capital to Khartoum. And even though we've made it here, we can't cross it because the snipers around the bridge make it way too dangerous.
Under the bridge, an abandoned RSF position is littered with stolen household items, used ammunition, and reminders of all that was taken and lost. There are long days of fighting still ahead to clear the neighborhoods on the other side. And as civilians wait for good news, soldiers trawl through the spreading devastation.
The graffiti says Rapid Support Forces right by a sign with the name of the professor who owned this home. And as soon as you walk in, it's just completely destroyed. They haven't just robbed this house, they've completely gutted it. They've even taken out the electricity cables. It's extraordinary that they've managed to completely destroy what feels like a family home. And whatever this family held dear has now just been relegated to a rubbish heap.
And the markets that sold the treasures that once filled these homes are now husks of burnt metal and emptied stores. Lives and livelihoods laid to waste. The cleanup has started for some, working hard to rebuild what they lost. This restaurant was the source of all our income, says Abdullah. It was supporting entire families. Now they'll have to take out loans just to start from scratch. Those with little choice elsewhere are rushing back, celebrating a long-awaited return. But the clang of empty plates reminds us that food is still scarce across the capital.
What are people's needs?
Essentially, people need food. Almost 80% of people we see here are depending entirely on this kitchen.
These kitchens are a dwindling lifeline, shut down by USAID funding cuts and donor fatigue.
I can't see the reasoning behind stopping the funds that can bring food to people. It's inhumane.
The world has turned its gaze from its biggest humanitarian disaster, one that's uprooted millions and killed tens of thousands, maiming those who managed to survive. This man needs surgery he's unlikely to ever get.
I told the RSF we aren't army. We are civilians, but they just fired at us. In our area, lots of people were killed.
This shelter is for discharged hospital patients with no home to return to. People nursing injuries amid ongoing displacement, and others with wounds that are harder to mend. When does the bridge open? Asks Harun in a state of psychosis. Find a way and get me home. This is the deeper damage, the pain that can't be fixed with bricks and cement. A war on the spirit of a capital, still torn apart. Yusra El-Bagir, Sky News, Khartoum.